Good evening. Today is the 21st of August. I realise we've skipped a day in our itinerary and the car's just locked itself because I didn't actually walk into it. We're at a hotel which is just near Gatwick Airport because my lady wife and I are part of a walking group, and the walking group goes on walks monthly, generally about an hour or so from London. We live significantly further away from where we were, just down in the South Downs than most people, so we booked a hotel, and of course we took the MG3 to be our weapon of choice for this particular journey. It's been very well behaved actually. I mean, last night we drove the back way from Eastleigh to the Wisley interchange, which is on the M25, and it was brilliant. It was the sort of thing that when the car comes into its own. It's quite dark and everything, so I didn't really record any footage, and my lady wife doesn't really like me recording when I'm in the car with her, so we didn't actually do that. But it was pretty good. Just get in actually, and what we'll do is we'll have a look at how far we've gone and how much fuel we've used. So unlock the car again, there we go. Nice and easy to get in, and nice and comfortable on the seats. So when I got the car has done 83 miles since leaving the depot where it was being stored. I have to turn it onto there. So I've got a dial sweep going on now. Oh, why didn't it do that before? No! Viewers, why? Right, okay, we'll just make sure that if this radio comes on, I mute it immediately. Just give me 1 second whilst it decides what it's going to do. There we go. Right, so one of the things we didn't cover in the last video was actually how the trip computer works in an MG3, and actually this goes for all MG3s, not just the post-facelift ones like this one. So you can see these dials are actually the same as the pre-facelift cars. They've been the same since the car was launched in this country in 2013. So if I press the button on the end of this stalk here, for some reason the post-facelift cars have an easier to press button than the pre-facelift ones. Ours is a right pain, you have to have an active. This is fine. So I've driven 3.9 miles since I filled up. This is on the A trip. On the B trip, that was when the car left the depot a few days ago. So this is now Saturday. The car I picked up on Wednesday, rather, that it was brought to me. The car did 83 miles from the depot, so I'll let you do the maths, but my very poor maths says we've done just over 250 miles in the car since Wednesday. The average start temperature now 19 degrees. I've got 405 miles of range because I've just filled it up. MPG at the moment is nothing because I'm not going anywhere, but that's my average. MPG is 44.5 miles. A lot of mixed driving and some sort of more enthusiastic, I don't know, Planet Auto style driving might have happened, because we do like to have a bit of fun in this car. And that's my average miles an hour. Nothing because I'm not moved, and the car's done just under 2,000 miles, so it's got about that until it needs a service, because MG3s have 15,000 mile service intervals. We'll also take a moment to look at the tyre pressure monitoring system, and yeah, it's nice and clear. It's actually in bar, which is also on a facelift car. The handbook or the sticker on the side of the car is in bar. See it was set up here as well. What kind of stuff can we change on the car? We can change the key beeps. You know what? I think I might turn that off, because I don't think I need that. So I might turn that off. Loudness, I don't know. No. Why did it do that, viewers? Oh dear. Right, display. Right. You can change the brightness. Backlight mode. Let's go automatic. Yeah. Yeah, we can go automatic. Now, this also has a little star button here, and you can change the function of it. So take it back to home on the menu or go to CarPlay. Now, this isn't my car. I'm not actually going to change that. I'm going to leave it where it is. We can adjust the time. We can add a phone by Bluetooth. If we go back here, we'll do the sat nav. Right, I'm just going to pause it a second just so that I don't get my address coming up on the system, which I'll have to edit that out, which I did with the MG3 EV. Just give me 1 second. Okay, it's just why I did that, because that did come up with our address in the system that the delivery driver for MG had used to get to where we are. So let's have a look at this MG Yugo sat-nav system. This was not fitted to the exclusive model that I drove in 2019. Because this is the Exclusive Nav, it has it. Right, let's go and see how this loads up. So I've preloaded this actually, because it does take a while. It probably took 45 seconds or so to load up. So this is where we are. We're just near Gatwick Airport actually. So if I want to go to Winchester, press this, and I use a new route. I'm just going to use this as well. Port Lane in Winchester was actually where Mr. Bill did his filming. That's a spot we often use for filming in the area. It's actually near where my mother lives. It's not too far from there, and it's about 17 minutes or so from Eastleigh, and it's a nice quiet place. That's why we use it. So just see what happens if I click on this Port Lane, and I can select that as a destination. And there we go, calculating route. Sorry, the focus isn't very good. Pilot route requires special permit. I don't know why it says that. Maybe because we're on private land here or something. Yeah, maybe something like that. There we go, 1 hour and 28 minutes, it's 84 miles. Okay, that sounds about right to me. So we will quit and go back to that. I hope that radio doesn't come on again. It doesn't. Great. Okay, so I've done that bit as well. I always like to do the infotainment system. And I think I forgot to mention last time, there is actually a USB port down there and a 12-volt socket. There's no aux in on this car like there wasn't the pre-facelift models for some particular reason, I don't know. Okay, let's flip the camera around and just conclude this little bit. I think we've just got about enough light to record this, but yes, we're over 250 miles into the week with the car. We've done all sorts of driving, motorway driving, country driving. I actually did a little urban drive across Northampton because I had an appointment to literally have my head examined on Friday evening, because I'm having this dealt with, and it's been there for a long time. I've had it maybe 15 years, but it just got a little bit too big really for my liking recently, and so I'm going to have it removed. And I drove quite a sort of nippy little urban route, about 15 minutes or so just before the rush hour. It was an excellent car for it. It was fantastic, just sort of nipping that little roundabout, nipping up the streets, a little bit of motorway. It was good fun. So there we are. Suppose we will come back tomorrow when we are going for a special assignment in Hampshire. Our viewers, here we are in Farnborough again. You might think it's a bit strange, but actually arrived in Farnborough to film this. It's the 22nd of August today. We had a bit of a nasty journey getting here actually on the M25, which was surprisingly busy, but you know, we sort of made it, and you know, cars sort of acquitted itself rather well. Bit different from this Mazda that we've been filming, and a bit different again from that, which we might do a little video on in a bit. But certainly that was a very kind of nostalgic little trip, and yeah, so very pleased. So it's one of these situations where you're in very heavy traffic. You think maybe I would have liked an automatic option in one of these, and of course that's not what was available ever in this country. Manual gearboxes only, and I doubt they'll ever release an automatic version of the MG3 now. But there we go. Not much to say other than that it's been quite well behaved, still getting about 44-45 miles per gallon, and probably come back to you tomorrow. Right, viewers. Oh, there's the annoying Sony sound that goes off when I start recording. Today is the 24th of August. It's the penultimate day I've got with this car, and I'm on the way today to Northamptonshire so that Dan from Dan's Cars in the Country can actually film this car for his channel. He did film the MG5 EV. I'm going to have to do something about that noise. He did film the MG5 EV, but it's done quite well on his channel. I'll leave a link to the review he did in the description below. Yes, we're still on a full tank of fuel, I think, in this, or it's showing it. And I filled up at Gatwick the other day, and I don't think it's actually used any showing on the thing. It will have used some. Right, so we'll go through the cycle through here. Hopefully the radio won't come on, which it probably will anyway. So we'll silence it when it comes on, but we'll have a look through here. So 96 miles to filled up, and it's still showing a full tank of petrol, which is interesting. And 370 miles of fuel to go. I think we need to get on our way though, viewers, so I shall stop the recording here, mount the camera, and off we go. You'll notice today, viewers, I'm actually not wearing a microphone because I think the sound on this newer phone that I have is actually better than if I wear the microphone, which is completely stupid. But yes, having lost some audio due to microphone problems and going to have to film the interior scenes of the same car again in the last 48 hours, I think it's important to point these things out. So, on the way to Northamptonshire, I'm just going to get the exterior of this car cleaned very quickly before I do. It's a little bit dusty because I've covered, if I just get this right in terms of my calculations, I've done 350 miles, actually more than that, in this car, and by the end of when I hand the car back tomorrow, it's probably going to be in excess of 500 that I've done during the week. So I might as well just give it a little clean. I won't have time to do that tomorrow before the car's collected, so I'll just do that quickly before I go there. And once we get to Northamptonshire, we can have a go on some little twisty roads and see how the car performs. Well, viewers, we made it to the overnight accommodation in Northamptonshire. I'm looking forward to going on some fun roads a bit later on when we meet up with Dan. It's about 10 minutes or so from here. There's some decent country roads on the way, so we'll have some fun on there. Just not get run over, that's the best idea. And probably what we'll do just before I go is I'll have a go at putting the directions of the sat nav. I won't show Dan's address. What we'll do is we'll just go generally to the area where he lives, and we'll see how that works. Right, viewers, before we go and see Dan, let's see if we can use the sat nav to get there. Actually, I'll use this button here because the steering wheel's going to need a wiggle with both hands, so we'll just use this button. We're going to do this in real time. I've actually cleared out my address from the sat nav now, so it should be perfectly possible to do this. I'll just keep the volume muted when the sound comes on, which inevitably it will. So navigation. Let's do this in real time because it's a much better test if it is. Turn off the radio. You see, it does take a little while to load it. the nav system is only available in this exclusive nav model. There was, sorry, my words are coming out wrong today. There were a couple of models of the MG3 before the facelift actually available with optional sat nav, but not really a trim level, as exclusive nav is a trim level with sat nav. This is a bit different from the old system that they used to use. So we need to go to new route, and we can go just to a place. I'm just going to put Byfield in here because I don't want to give away the exact location where Dan lives. We're just going to put in Byfield, if I can actually get this to work. It's not the most responsive system this I've ever used. Okay. Surely that must come up. Let's try again. No. That's a bit useless, viewers. If I mean, I know where I'm going because I've been to Tant quite a few times now, but it's not very good. I mean, if I want to go to Daventry, which is kind of the nearest big town to where I am. Let's see what happens if I put in Daventry. Can I do that? No. How strange. Let's go back. If I go back. Yeah, address. Let's see if that works. Oh, Daventry. Okay. Oh, okay. So we actually need to do it differently. We need to do... That's it. So yes, we need to go to Byfield, which is near Daventry. Okay, go to town. Let's see if this works. Yeah, Wolford House has also been there. Select destination. I am in Lower Boddington, which is just there. Let's see if this works. Okay, yeah, that would do. It says about 7 minutes, so it's not very far. Oh, it's already started off. Okay, we'll just clear that off, so we don't need that at the moment. I don't even know where I'm going. So there you go, viewers. The MG Yugo sat nav system. It's not necessarily the best one, unfortunately. Off we go again, viewers. This time on some Northamptonshire country roads. On the way to Dan's. Oh. Didn't realise that L driver was waiting for me. That's very nice of that L driver to wait for me. Thank you very much. The light might be going a bit funny on this journey. Also, we might have problems with the mount shaking around, but that's just the way it goes on this channel. One of the things I've been pondering today is, well, the demise of a little car like this. It's got a manual gearbox, it's got a normally aspirated engine, it's only got 5 speeds in the gearbox, and most of its rivals are much more expensive than the MG3 is. The most direct rival to this is the Kia Rio, and if you pay the same money as the Kia Rio as you do for one of these, then well, you only get the base model. You get the 1.25 litre 85 horsepower engine in the one trim, but only also has a 5-speed gearbox in it. The 6-speed Rios are much more expensive. Other things are the Hyundai i10, the Kia Picanto, which are smaller than this. Of course, there's actually Sandero is one which is probably a competitor, but it is cheaper, the engines are more efficient, and it's probably got even more space in it, to be honest, than this has. So it is something of a competitor, but it doesn't handle like this. Hydraulic power steering in this car as well, and of course a conventional handbrake. People who engineered the chassis of this car back in 2011 when it came out really knew what they were doing. To a lot of people who've driven this car, they say the steering is quite heavy, but it's not really. I mean, if you drive a Rover 45 and then drive this, the steering weight is kind of similar. It's really weird, considering they don't share any components really, apart from the pre-facelift ones in the same old filler cap. That's about it. Yes, the engine hasn't got the most power. It does require you to rev it out, and of course if you're Planet Auto, you'll be up there in the VTI section, which is above about 5,500 RPM. The maximum torque of this engine is produced up there somewhere as well. So you don't have to rev it all the time. I don't tend to do that because that's the sort of person I am. But you know, if you are Planet Auto, then that is what you do. So just be aware of the fact that it doesn't behave like a little 3-cylinder 1 litre turbo that most of the cars that are pitched against it these days would have. Some of them have a 1 litre and not even a turbo. But it is a very satisfying car to drive. You could either have one of these or a sort of base or one-up from base Volkswagen Up as well. That's another sort of comparable little car, but Ups don't drive like this, and for that money you get a 65 horsepower engine. I'm sure you'll get much better fuel economy with an Up, but you don't get this level of driver satisfaction because of the fact that it's electric power steering. Now that saves a lot of weight, and I wouldn't be surprised if MG actually dropped this engine entirely from their lineup. It's also used in the ZS, but I think that's going to be gone soon because it just won't meet future emission standards. So this is now a very rare breed of car. Manufacturers are dropping entry-level cars left, right and centre. Peugeot and Citroën, I don't think are going to replace the C1 and the 108. Ford have discontinued the Cow Plus, it was known at the end. Vauxhall have discontinued the Viva. You know, manufacturers don't want to make cars like this anymore. They don't make them with enough money. And the MG3's design, of course, is quite an old one. It dates from 2011. So with all the sort of current stuff like lane keeping assistance and autonomous emergency braking and speed limiters that are compulsory from next year for brand new cars in the European Union, and we put into all new cars. And by new cars I mean new designs of cars. That, you know, the ones that are currently on for sale, all of them will have to have by 2024. So, and this sort of car is not going to be easy to fit that kind of stuff to. So that's another reason why this is a bit of an endangered species. But if you're a proper driver, you appreciate things like hydraulic power steering. You appreciate the fact that this car's got a firm ride, but that means you get good body control and you get good handling and you get a decent amount of space and a good level of equipment for not an expensive price and a 7-year warranty. Then this really could be worth a look. The earlier ones, pre-facelift ones, that's before mid-2018, have Group 4 insurance as well. This isn't too bad, it's Group 7. So I'm interested to understand from Dan what he thinks of this, and we're going to be at this place in a couple of minutes. Good morning, viewers. Today is the 25th of August and the little bogging noise means we're back on the new camera. Time for us to leave Lower Boddington and get back to Eastleigh, where the car's being picked up in a couple of hours. So we haven't got much time left with it. This really is the end of the start, isn't it? I didn't actually manage to get any footage with Dan. Oh, that's that bogging noise again. But he must turn that off. I didn't get much actually any footage of Dan last night. It got too dark, unfortunately. We ended up talking about other things, so we didn't get a chance to film with Dan, but you will see the review on his channel at some point. And of course he quite liked it because I knew that he would. Right, let's get in the mount and let's get on the road back to Hampshire. The wonderful surroundings of Lower Boddington, and of course my mount is in the way, because that is just the way that it goes on this channel. Right, viewers, got to get back and collect this wonderful chap who is returning this MG to the depot. I suppose we better come to some sort of conclusion about this car. It's full of little things that are a bit quirky. One of them is that it's the only car I've ever driven where at night the main beam is activated by pushing the indicator stalk away from the driver, and then it's deactivated by doing the same thing. Now, a lot of cars you push the indicator stalk away to activate the main beam, but generally you then pull it towards you to turn off the main beam. There's no particular reason why it needs to be any way round, it's just interesting. So it's still full of little quirky things. I mean, hydraulic power steering, a 5-speed gearbox, and this 1.5 normally aspirated engine are all things that are fast becoming extinct in 2021. We only have less than 9 years to go before all cars will have to have some form of electrification with the powertrain. The government haven't quite specified what that would be yet. I imagine that's plug-in hybrids only, but this car, with its design, which dates back to about 2011, and this little tiny screen at the bottom of the instrument cluster, which looks like something from the early 90s, is going to be an endangered species. I think that is something of a shame. If you're particularly a young enthusiast and you really like driving, but you don't want necessarily to buy an older car, and you know there's reasons for and reasons against that sort of thing, because you want cruise control and, you know, reversing camera and 6 airbags and Apple CarPlay and things like that, and you want a car with a long warranty, then this is really perfect, actually. Sure, it isn't even that expensive on these either, that's another thing about them. But not the last word in performance at all. But not the last word in technology, but that's maybe not what you want. And that's one of the reasons why we owned ours, was actually for that reason, because I've been into cars for a long time, since about the age of about 3. I think many of you probably feel that way too. And you don't necessarily want a car with all this sort of things like electric power steering all the time, and you don't need things like lane keeping assist and blind spot monitoring and adaptive cruise control and that sort of stuff. You want to be able to drive something that's new enough and got all the sort of features that you need, but a lot of them you don't, and you want to be covered by this 7-year 80,000 mile warranty. The car's also available in some attractive colours. You can get plenty of them on the second-hand market now as well, and they do have reasonable economy. it's a chain-driven engine, and the ones after January 2016 tend to be very reliable. So yes, I know why we bought ours first of all, and there's much the same reasons really why you might choose to buy one now, but even more acutely so because there's just nothing else quite like this on the market really. Everything else has got electric power steering and doesn't handle in the same way as this. They also have generally sort of softer rides than this too. So it really depends what you want. I mean, the Hyundai i10, Kia Picanto, Kia Rio are excellent alternatives, but I wouldn't really call the versions which you can buy for the sort of money you buy one of these enthusiast cars. Whereas I sort of would class this as an enthusiast car. Not the same as, you know, going out there and buying an MG3 1.5 or something like that. That's a true enthusiast car, but nevertheless I think it does appeal to a certain type of person who kind of likes the way that MG have done things. I think that's it, viewers. Right, viewers, I'm just coming off the M3 now, so I'm almost back in Eastleigh. I've just had a call from the delivery driver from MG saying he's actually at the house already, so I'm going to have to very quickly just finalise everything here. My average fuel consumption, I imagine this was set by the previous delivery driver when he started from Chippenham, which is where the car is going to be returning today, a week ago, is 45.7 miles per gallon. The official figures say about 38, so I'm very happy with that. It's better than what we used to get in ours as well, which is fantastic. Just skip through here. I've done about 565 miles in the course of a week. It's about something like that. I've got 130 miles of fuel left. I've done 306 miles on this tank so far. Yeah, 306. So there we are. That was well, the end of the start. A week with a 2021 MG3 1.5 exclusive nav. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video and to leave a comment below. I do hope that you've enjoyed this two-part series. We should have another car that I'm getting for a week coming up next month, which will be the 3rd anniversary of the channel, which, well, don't know whether that's a good or bad thing. We'll have to see. Anyway, social media links are down below as always. If you were able to switch on notifications to be informed of when new uploads come, I'd very much appreciate that. And thank you ever so much indeed once again.